Young and the Restless next week. Chance and Carter dead. Shocking murder mystery unfolds. By the end of this week, we've got Kane Ashby's Billy Flynn, Assistant Carter, in some seriously hot water. Chance and Victor Newman, Eric Braden, caught him lying. They busted his alibi. Carter said he was sleeping, but another staff member saw him lurking. Then Victor and Chance were grilling him about framing Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow. Creepy Carter said he didn't hide the bloody dagger under Nick's bathroom sink, but nobody knew that's where it was stashed except the person who stashed it and Chance and the Newman. So big hoopsie. Carter wouldn't know unless he was framing Nick. Plus, Amanda Sinclair, Miss Hale Morgan, and Kane were just discussing who had access to the recordings to delete the footage. Just the two of them and Carter. What's interesting is Kane thought the killer was after him, and that's why he brought in Chance. We're probably going to get some more twisted revelations next week that hint that Damien was always the target. It seems like there should be more to it, but there's not. It's just a very thin plot in my mind that has somebody completely disposable as the culprit that has no meat in any of the core storyline. Young and the Restless. Kane defends Carter. Victor and Chance wanted to keep pushing on Carter, but Kane pulls him out of the room, says he can go to the bar and wait, and Chance and Victor are talking to Kane about him. Now, Kane does not think Carter has it in him to murder anybody. Chance is kind of wondering if Carter would cover for Kane killing somebody. But surprisingly, Victor is right there and thinks Carter killed Damien and did it for Kane, but not necessarily because Kane wanted him to. And again, Kane doesn't think he's capable of it. Amanda runs into Carter at the end of this week, and he tells her Chance and Victor are questioning Kane about their history. He insists to Amanda he'd never do anything to make Kane look bad. So Amanda's prodding. She asks Carter if he's covering for Kane because he killed Damien. Carter says, "No, that's not what's happening." Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil, joins and starts going off complaining about Kane. Ever the loyal minion, Carter tells Lily that Kane really loves her. Carter asks Lily to give Kane another chance. That's a hard no. Lily says right as Kane walks up that he disgusts her. Intense drama unfolds. Carter's hostage situation and Kane's turmoil in Young and Restless. Those are going to be famous last words because of spoilers for next week. Kane tells Amanda he's going to talk to her later, but he really needs to talk to Carter alone. Kane tells Carter, "Look, I know you hid the knife," and he wants him just to come clean. "Just tell me the whole truth." Kane says he can see everything that was done related to this murder was by someone who knows the property, knows the maze, knows where the dagger was kept, knows where the booze was stashed to drug it. Kane's asking if Carter wanted to get Damien out of his way to help him. He thinks Carter thought this was a good solution for him to get back with Lily. If you remember, Carter told Victor and Chance he owes Kane. Carter repeats that to his boss, but Kane says, "No, you don't owe me anything." He actually vows to protect Carter. But while Kane and Carter are talking, Chance and Victor are eavesdropping from the hedges. Young and the Restless. Carter goes ballistic. Things get really scary next week, and 100% Carter's the killer. I'm interested to find out if there's more to it, but honestly, it doesn't seem like there is. It just seems that Kane's assistant is a lone wolf. Also, it looks like Lily messed up telling Carter that Kane disgusted her, because next week's spoilers for Young and the Restless have Lily circling back around to where they are. She asks what's going on. Carter pulls a gun, grabs her, takes her hostage, holding the gun to her head. Kane and Chance are right there trying to get Carter to stop. "Drop the gun." Lily is screaming her head off. Chance keeps on saying drop the weapon, acting like a cop that he is. Kane's trying to tell Carter, "Please stop before things get worse on you." Carter doesn't think things can get any worse than they are. Carter's telling Kane he did this all for him. Young and the Restless. Kane desperate to stop Carter. I think it'd be really weird if Carter was actually in love with Kane or something. That would make this slightly more interesting than the thin plot it is with this random killer. Carter is accusing Kane of wanting to lock him up, and says he's going to fight his way out of there. It looks like he's going to try and drag Lily away as a human shield, but that's not going to go very well. Chance is trying to push Kane back, get in between them because he is the cop. Things get really, really bad from there. Police involvement and aftermath. French police, multiple bodies, and Kane's emotional struggles. Amanda is talking to Kane about notifying the French police. He tells Amanda she did the right thing calling them in. Kane asks if the cops are still on the scene, and Amanda tells Kane they're finishing up. They're going to take the bodies to the coroner's office, and Amanda says the case is closed. Kane's in the clear. He doesn't feel like that's what's happening. He feels really bad. He's blaming himself for Lily being taken hostage. Amanda said bodies, plural. So one's Damien. He's been in the deep freeze in the kitchen for a few days. I'm assuming Carter is probably shot as well, because he's 100% expendable. I'm wondering though if Chance is also shot in the skirmish, and there are 3 bodies at the chateau to be picked up rather than 2 bodies. Young and the Restless. Does Chance die? We all know that these are Connor Floyd's final episodes that we're in right now. He already left YandR. He started taping over at Days of Our Lives on June 23rd. So, he finished on Young and the Restless around the 3rd week of June, maybe sooner. They usually tape about a month ahead. So, we are nearing the end of his run on YandR. There's been no sign they're going to recast. Whether they zip Chance into a body bag or just slide him onto the back burner remains to be seen. We'll have that answer next week. Chance is a true hero, and we've seen him in the past take a bullet to protect Adam Newman, Mark Grossman. So totally feasible that he would take a bullet to protect Lily or Kane from Carter. Meanwhile, Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, sits with Nick Newman, Joshua Morrow, who is bloody from losing a fight with an old steamer trunk. I do hope he gets a tetanus shot. Young and the Restless. France trip coming to an end. All the cell phones come back to life. Looks like Kane took down the blocker. Victor thinks Kane did it, because he knows he lost. He's ready to leave and get everybody back home. Kane is sweeping everything off his desk next week, in a fit of rage. I do wonder if Victor is wrong about Kane losing everything though. Clearly, he's lost Lily at least for now. At the end of this past week, Nikki was ready to sign papers to transfer Chancellor over to Kane in exchange for an affidavit stating that Nick is innocent. Amanda had those papers ready to go. Lauren Fenmore, Tracy Bregman, was warning Nikki, slow up. Don't jump into this. But Nikki was very insistent she needed to. So we'll see if that transfer of Chancellor went through before the shooting and is about to plunge into chaos next week as the Young and the Restless delivers one of the most shocking storylines in recent memory. Fans are already buzzing on social media, and the spoilers are sending shockwaves. Chance Chancellor and Carter Walton are dead. Yes, you read that correctly. Both fan-favorite characters are suddenly gone, leaving Genoa City reeling in a web of mystery, suspicion, and heartbreak. The shocking deaths set off a chain reaction that will grip viewers from the moment the episode begins. According to inside sources, the scene is brutal yet mysterious. Chance and Carter are found lifeless under suspicious circumstances, and immediate questions swirl around who could be behind such a heinous act. From old enemies resurfacing to hidden secrets finally coming to light, the next week promises a suspense-filled journey that will leave fans desperate for answers. The first signs of trouble appear when Kane and Mariah arrive at the Chancellor estate, expecting a quiet day. Instead, they are confronted with a horrifying scene: the bodies of Chance and Carter. The initial shock is overwhelming. Kane, usually composed under pressure, is visibly shaken, and Mariah struggles to process the sudden loss of her husband and Carter, her longtime friend and confidant. It is a gut-wrenching moment that immediately establishes the gravity of the situation. As Genoa City's law enforcement begins their investigation, Detective Ravi Shapoor is front and center, trying to piece together the clues. Early spoilers suggest that the deaths may not be accidental, sparking rumors of foul play. With both Chance and Carter being prominent figures with ties to some of the city's most influential families, almost everyone has a potential motive. This opens up a classic YandR whodunit scenario, complete with red herrings, double crosses, and shocking betrayals. Victoria Newman's reaction is one of outrage and determination. As a friend and ally to Carter, she vows to uncover the truth no matter what. Meanwhile, Victor Newman's response is layered with his trademark intensity. Some speculate he will use this tragedy to manipulate others, further blurring the lines between justice and vengeance. Victor's involvement will undoubtedly escalate tensions, making the investigation even more dangerous for those daring to seek the truth. Meanwhile, Phyllis Summers finds herself reluctantly drawn into the chaos. Known for her resourcefulness and ability to uncover secrets, Phyllis is already connecting dots that others have overlooked. Her investigation may reveal a shocking twist: that the deaths of Chance and Carter could be linked to a decades-old secret involving the Chancellor and Walton families. Rumors are swirling that the true motive may go beyond revenge or jealousy, hinting at something darker and more sinister lurking beneath the surface. One of the most captivating elements of this storyline is the impact on the younger characters. Lily Winters is left reeling, grappling with the sudden loss of her close friends. Her emotional turmoil may push her into confrontations with those she suspects, and viewers can expect some intense, tear-filled scenes as the characters' grief collides with the need for justice. The emotional stakes are sky-high, making every interaction tense, raw, and unpredictable. Fans are also speculating about the involvement of Phyllis's daughter, Summer Newman. Could she have unwittingly played a role in the tragic events? Or is she in danger herself as someone tries to cover their tracks? The storyline has all the hallmarks of a classic YandR thriller: deception, betrayal, and a race against time to uncover the truth before more lives are lost. The showrunners have teased that the investigation will uncover shocking secrets, some that will rock Genoa City to its core. Relationships will be tested as characters are forced to question their loyalties, with trust becoming a rare commodity. No one is safe from suspicion, not even the closest friends and family members of Chance and Carter. Each new revelation will hit like a bombshell, keeping audiences on the edge of their seats. Additionally, the fallout from these deaths will have long-term implications. The Chancellor and Walton legacies are now in jeopardy, and the power dynamics in Genoa City are shifting dramatically. Expect corporate rivalries, inheritance battles, and family feuds to explode in the aftermath, as characters jockey for control and attempt to protect what remains of their empires. In a city like Genoa, tragedy rarely stays simple. Spoilers indicate that some of Chance and Carter's closest friends may find themselves entangled in dangerous situations, either as suspects or potential victims. The mystery surrounding their deaths is expected to unfold over several episodes, providing fans with a tense, edge-of-your-seat experience. Every character has secrets, and with so many possible motives, the path to justice will be anything but straightforward. While the show has delivered many shocking twists in the past, the simultaneous deaths of Chance and Carter mark a new level of suspense for Young and the Restless. The storyline promises a blend of emotional drama, high-stakes investigation, and psychological tension that will captivate audiences and ignite discussions across social media. Expect theories, fan debates, and heated speculation as viewers try to solve the mystery before the characters on screen do. Ultimately, this storyline is a masterclass in the soap opera tradition, blending tragedy, intrigue, and suspense into a gripping narrative. It will challenge the residents of Genoa City to confront their darkest fears, test their alliances, and reckon with the consequences of past actions. For the audience, it is a thrilling ride filled with heartbreak, shock, and the kind of suspense that only YandR can deliver. As fans prepare for the coming episodes, one thing is certain: the deaths of Chance and Carter will reverberate through Genoa City for months to come. Friends, families, and enemies alike will be forced to face the consequences, and the hunt for the truth promises to be as dangerous as it is emotionally devastating. Next week, The Young and the Restless will remind viewers why Genoa City is a place where secrets are deadly, alliances are fragile, and no one is ever truly safe. The shocking murder mystery of Chance and Carter is not just a storyline. It's a high-stakes, pulse-pounding journey into the heart of the city was buzzing with tension, the kind that could be cut with a knife. At Crimson Lights, whispers flitted between the tables like restless ghosts. Carter Walton had once again found himself in the crosshairs of the city's elite, his reputation under attack after a deal gone sideways with a major client. Rumors had already begun to swirl. Carter was reckless, unreliable, and maybe even dangerous. And, as usual, some people were more than happy to fan the flames. But Kane Ashby wasn't about to let his friend's name be dragged through the mud without a fight. It had started earlier that morning when Lily Winters, ever the loyal partner to her brother Devin and protector of family reputation, confronted Kane at Society. "Kane, have you seen what they're saying about Carter? People are already talking about him behind his back." Her tone was sharp but not unkind. "He's in over his head, Kane. This isn't like you to defend someone who's, well, unpredictable." Kane ran a hand through his hair and let out a low whistle. "Unpredictable? Yeah, but so is life in Genoa City, Lily. Carter made a mistake, sure, but he doesn't deserve to have everyone piling on like vultures. I've known him long enough to know he's not reckless. He's ambitious, yeah, maybe a little stubborn, but not a menace." Lily raised an eyebrow. "Ambitious or not, Kane, people are watching. Victor, the board, clients, one wrong move and Carter's career could implode. That's why I'm not standing by and letting it happen," Kane said firmly. By mid-afternoon, Kane found himself in the sleek, glass-walled conference room at Chancellor Industries, standing across from some of the most intimidating figures in the city's business world. Carter sat to his left, looking like he could either grin or break into tears at any moment, and Kane knew the responsibility of defending him rested squarely on his shoulders. Victor Newman, looking every bit the titan of the city with his imposing presence, leaned back in his chair and fixed Kane with a cold stare. "So this is what you're doing, Ashby? Defending Walton after the mess he's made? Are you serious?" Kane didn't flinch. "I'm serious, Victor. Carter made a miscalculation, yes. But he's not the reckless man you're making him out to be. And he's not alone in this, he's got people who believe in him." Victor scoffed. "People who believe in him? Kane, in this town, belief won't save a person from financial ruin or public humiliation. Results matter. And Carter's track record right now doesn't scream reliability." "Results matter," Kane said, leaning forward. "But so does integrity and loyalty and the ability to learn from mistakes. Carter has all of those qualities. He's not perfect, but who here is?" His gaze swept the room, landing briefly on Nikki Newman, who shifted uncomfortably in her seat. "You can't just throw someone under the bus the second they falter." Victor's eyes narrowed. "And who made you the judge of that, huh?" Kane took a steadying breath, his voice calm but unwavering. "Because I know him. I've worked with him. I've seen the way he handles pressure, the way he's willing to own up to mistakes instead of hiding behind excuses. You want someone to blame? Fine. But don't blame Carter for being human. Give him a chance to fix this before you bury him." Carter's shoulders relaxed slightly, and he dared to meet Kane's eyes. It was clear he had expected the room to turn against him completely. Seeing Kane's unwavering support seemed to steady his own nerves. Phyllis Summers, sitting across from them, couldn't resist a sharp comment. "Kane, that's all very touching, but the reality is business is cutthroat. Carter might have talent, but talent alone won't pay the bills or close a deal when the stakes are this high." Kane met her gaze evenly. "I understand that, Phyllis. I do. But business isn't just about numbers and deals. It's also about relationships, trust, and respect. Carter's mistakes don't erase his contributions, and they don't erase the potential for him to make things right. You don't get to write someone off because they stumble once." The room was silent for a moment. Kane's words seemed to hang in the air, challenging the cynicism that usually dominated these meetings. Even Victor looked momentarily taken aback, though he masked it with a dismissive cough. "You're lucky to have Kane in your corner, Carter," Nikki said softly, surprising even Kane. "It seems he's not only willing to fight for you, but to remind everyone else that character counts too." Carter's gratitude was almost palpable. "Thanks, Kane. I don't know what I would have done without you stepping up like this." Kane gave a small, wry smile. "Don't thank me yet. We've still got a lot of work to do to repair the damage. But at least we've started." As the meeting adjourned, Kane and Carter walked side by side down the hallway of Chancellor Industries. Carter's normally confident stride was more hesitant than usual, but Kane could see the determination building behind his eyes. "You know," Carter said quietly, "I always thought I was the one carrying the team sometimes. Didn't realize it could go the other way. Seeing you stand up for me, it's more than I can put into words." Kane clapped him on the shoulder. "You don't have to put it into words. Just show me you're ready to fight. We've got your reputation, your career, and a lot of people counting on you. Let's get to work before Genoa City has a chance to write the end of your story." By the end of the day, word began to spread. Carter Walton wasn't alone. He had allies, and they weren't going to let him fall without a fight. Kane's defense wasn't just about protecting a friend. It was about reminding everyone in Genoa City that loyalty, integrity, and courage still had a place in a city built on power plays and betrayal. And as Kane watched Carter leave the office with renewed resolve, he knew the battle was far from over. But for the first time in a long while, Carter wasn't facing it alone. In Genoa City, that could make all the difference. Always been a place where secrets fester, alliances shift, and danger lurks in the most unexpected corners. But this week, the young and the restless takes the stakes to a shocking new level, plunging Carter Walton into a life-threatening hostage situation that leaves everyone, especially Kane Ashby, grappling with fear, guilt, and impossible choices. It all began as a seemingly routine evening. Carter, known for his steady moral compass and commitment to doing the right thing, was in the wrong place at the wrong time. While leaving Crimson Lights, a shadowy figure emerged from the darkness, forcing Carter at gunpoint into a waiting van. The suddenness of the attack shocked onlookers and threw the normally composed Carter into panic, though he quickly masked his fear, relying on his wits to assess his captor's intentions. Meanwhile, Kane Ashby's day had started like any other, juggling responsibilities between Chancellor Winters and his growing family. But a frantic phone call from a panicked Victoria Newman sent him racing toward the scene of Carter's disappearance. The gravity of the situation hit Kane immediately. His closest friend and confidant, someone who had stood by him through thick and thin, was in mortal danger. And the more Kane dug into the circumstances, the more he realized this was not a random crime. The motives were personal, layered with revenge, and Carter's very life hung in the balance. As the story unfolded, viewers watched Kane spiral. He is no stranger to high-stakes drama, but the fear of losing Carter, a man who had become like a brother, was consuming him. Every decision felt weighted with consequences. Should he involve law enforcement immediately, risking escalation? Or should he rely on his own connections and street smarts to negotiate quietly? Kane's internal struggle was palpable, showing the audience a rare, vulnerable side of a man usually portrayed as unshakable. Back at the hostage site, Carter's resilience was on full display. Despite the threat of imminent harm, he attempted to reason with his captor, appealing to logic and, perhaps, a hidden sense of morality. Carter's sharp mind, quick reflexes, and calm demeanor under pressure allowed him to gather information about his captor's motives. Yet with every passing hour, the tension escalated. The captor, volatile and unpredictable, oscillated between moments of menace and disturbing calm, keeping Carter, and the audience, on edge. Inside Kane's mind, guilt began to take hold. He replayed every interaction he'd had with Carter, wondering if any small oversight had contributed to the crisis. Kane's conversations with family members like Lily and his children were tinged with anxiety, exposing the depth of his turmoil. For once, Kane was not the rescuer with all the answers. Instead, he was human, flawed, and desperately trying to navigate a situation spiraling out of control. As the night wore on, the tension intensified. Genoa City's police, while efficient, could only do so much. They were constrained by protocol and the unpredictability of the hostage-taker. Kane, meanwhile, moved behind the scenes, piecing together Carter's possible location using knowledge only someone close to the situation could have. His efforts were heroic but perilous, as each lead had the potential to either save or endanger Carter further. The drama escalated when Kane finally located the warehouse where Carter was being held. In a heart-stopping sequence, Kane confronted the captor, attempting to negotiate Carter's release. Emotions ran high, anger, fear, desperation, and the stakes could not have been higher. At one point, Kane's own safety hung by a thread, as the captor's volatility made every movement a potential trigger for disaster. Kane's determination, however, never wavered. His loyalty to Carter and his belief in justice pushed him to take calculated risks, highlighting the lengths he would go to protect those he loves. Carter's resourcefulness inside the warehouse added layers to the tension. Using subtle clues, clever distractions, and a keen understanding of human behavior, he managed to stay one step ahead of his captor. His moments of courage were interwoven with palpable fear, creating a roller coaster of suspense that left viewers glued to their screens. Every glance, every whispered word, every subtle maneuver became a critical piece of the unfolding drama. The emotional core of this storyline, however, lies not just in the suspense, but in the bond between Kane and Carter. Their friendship, built on years of trust and shared struggles, became the anchor in a storm of chaos. Kane's emotional journey, from helplessness to decisive action, showcased a deepening character arc that resonated with fans. Likewise, Carter's resilience and intelligence reminded viewers why he is such a beloved figure in Genoa City. The hostage situation wasn't just about physical danger. It was about the emotional stakes, the human connection, and the raw power of friendship tested under extreme conditions. Meanwhile, Genoa City buzzed with speculation and concern. Characters like Victoria, Lily, and even Adam Newman watched the situation unfold with a mix of fear and determination, knowing that Carter's fate would ripple through the lives of everyone in his orbit. Rumors, alliances, and rivalries added layers of intrigue, ensuring that no one in the city remained unaffected by the crisis. As the climax approached, Kane's persistence paid off. Through a combination of intelligence, negotiation, and courage, he was able to create an opening for Carter to escape. The moment of reunion was electrifying, Kane's relief mirrored by Carter's exhaustion, fear, and gratitude. But even in victory, the ordeal left scars. Both men emerged changed, acutely aware of their vulnerabilities and the unpredictability of life in Genoa City. This storyline, with its high stakes, emotional depth, and intense drama, is a testament to the young and the restless ability to blend suspense with character-driven storytelling. The hostage crisis pushed Carter and Kane to their limits, challenged their morality and bravery, and reminded viewers that even in a city filled with deception, ambition, and betrayal, the bonds of friendship and loyalty remain a guiding light. Looking ahead, the aftermath of this crisis will reverberate throughout Genoa City. Questions about who orchestrated the kidnapping, the motivations behind it, and the consequences for those involved will continue to dominate conversations. Carter's near-death experience will inevitably alter his relationships and choices, while Kane's guilt and trauma may lead to unexpected decisions in both his personal and professional life. For fans, one thing is certain: the drama is far from over, and the emotional fallout promises to keep audiences riveted for weeks to come. In the end, this storyline isn't just about suspense or thrills. It's about courage, loyalty, and the human spirit tested under unimaginable pressure. Carter and Kane's ordeal is a masterclass in the young and the restless ability to combine heart-stopping drama with deeply human storytelling, making this one of the most unforgettable arcs in recent memory.